Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today we're going to pick up a car that you've probably never heard of before. It's very rare. So rare, in fact, I'd never even heard of one before. I didn't even know it existed, and that rarely happens. There's no point me even asking you to guess what I've bought because you'll never get it. Never in a month for Sundays. I had a quick look on Auto Trader before, and there are only 7 of these cars for sale in the whole of the UK. So what I've bought here is a tooth from a hen, or some dung from a rocking horse. I'll give you some clues anyway, just so you can play the game. It's Japanese, it's petrol, it's 4-wheel drive, but it's a saloon. You think you've got it, don't you? Nope, it's automatic. I'll tell you what, let me just put you out of your misery. Let's go and have a look. Right, well, this is what I've bought. It's a 2013 Suzuki Kizashi. Don't lie to me now, had you ever heard of one? Because I honestly hadn't. I do like unusual cars like this. I bought this from a YouTube viewer down south who I actually sold a Renault Koleos to about 3 years ago during COVID, and I delivered it down to him and came back in his Renault Wind, which I did a video with on this channel. So he obviously does like his unusual cars, as do I. Right, as always then, before I bought this, I did a vehicle history check using Car Vertical. It's really easy to do. All you do is go to carvertical.com, type in the vehicle reg, or the VIN, not the VIN number, the VIN. So in this case it is Kilo Sierra 13 Uniform Echo Lima check vehicle. This is currently checking millions of cars across dozens of countries' databases. It'll tell us whether it's been stolen, written off, had a mileage rollback, or has outstanding finance. Now, I did already check this for myself before agreeing to buy it, but I'll show you what I found. By the way, if you want to do any of these checks for yourself, and I urge you to do so before you hand over any cash for a used car or motorbike, then click the link below in the video description, or use the promo code HIGHPEAK and you get 10% off each and every vehicle check that you do. Right, and just like that, the report is ready. So, 72 million cars were checked, and of course, I know this already, but it's never been stolen, the mileage is fine, it hasn't been tampered with, there's no outstanding finance, and it's never been involved in an accident. Now, since Car Vertical have revamped the site, it gives you a bit of a write-up about each car. So, the Suzuki Kizashi 2013 is a renowned mid-size sedan with features that cater to all its customers' requirements. It's available in 2 engine options, the base model with a 2.4 litre 4-cylinder engine which produces 185 horsepower, which is the one I've bought, or there's a turbocharged version of the same 1.4 litre 4-cylinder petrol engine which produces 240. Now, I paid £4,600 for this car, plus £300 to get it trailered up from down south back up here, and it's done 70,000 miles, and the mileage is consistent every year. Right, that's interesting. Right, the average market price for such a vehicle is £7,977. It's had various private plates. Okay, the MOT then, can't remember when it was. It was, oh, November last year. So it passed its MOT with no advisory items, so we're all good. Right, let me show you around it then. Okay then. The build quality on this SL, by the way, is unparalleled. So there we go, a Suzuki Kizashi. It has had, straight away I've noticed, a smart repair on that bumper corner, because that looks very matte compared to the gloss wing. So yeah, this is a sport model. Let me show you around the back first. So you've got twin exhausts, an all-wheel drive badge, and that metallic paint is just glistening in this sunshine. It's quite a good looking car though, isn't it? What do you think? I'm aware, by the way, that although this is a rare car in the UK, I think they're quite common in the US and Antipodes and other regions. But I'm quite impressed with that so far. This is the sport model and it does look quite sporty. I like this sort of, this chainmail grille. That's quite aggressive. And I think this is quite a, or if not the top spec model. I've noticed straight away we've got xenons, headlamp wash, front fogs. We've got a little splash of chrome here or there, which looks quite good. We've got a sunroof, leather interior. I suppose it's probably as long as a 3 Series really. It's probably that sort of compact size. It's in good condition though overall. Quite impressed with it. We've got a set of Avon tyres with about 5 or 6 mil of tread. In fact, that's not an Avon at all, is it? That's a Accelera. It does actually need, I'm not just saying this for your entertainment, it does actually need a good buff. There are lots of little fine scratches which of course when the bright sunshine shines down on it, it sort of exaggerates them. They will all come out, they'll buff back. It's in good condition though, isn't it? And, just noticed that, we've got a National Trust sticker and a Support Our Lifeboat sticker. That automatically means it's been looked after. I don't even need to look through the service book. Right. So in the boot we've got a load liner, spare wheel, all that sort of stuff. Ah, right, and the seats fold through as well, and we've got a little ski hatch there. Quite a cool car, this. We've got a matching Acceler on that side, and is that an Avon? Yeah, matching Avon. With again on probably 6mm of tread. That's pretty good then. We've got keyless entry. Oh, look at that. Electric memory seats, electric windows ×4, powerful mirrors, a button there between front wheel drive or all wheel drive. Nice spec, isn't it? I was kind of expecting this to feel a bit cheap, like a Suzuki Liana or something, but so far it really doesn't. It feels quite plush actually. Have we got cup holders back here? Oh yes, look at that. Isofix points. It's in really good condition, this actually. Apart from that bumper corner, which I'll have to get painted, it is in fine fettle. Right. Let's have a look under the bonnet then, shall we? Now I think the 2.4 litre petrol engine is a chain-driven engine, so I don't think there are any cam belts. We've got an oil sticker there. Oh, looks very clean, doesn't it? Got a Bosch battery. No sign of any accidents. No rust. You know what, for a 10-year-old car, surprisingly good. In fact, I probably should check the oil, shouldn't I? Got a dipstick there, I think, for the transmission. Don't see that much out nowadays, do you? That's, I think, fairly sure the owner said that it had been serviced recently. Got push button start. This is the kind of car that I would buy, to be honest, for myself. I like unusual things like this. In the glove box we've got some Kleenex. Place there for your sunglasses. Oh yeah. I'm gonna close that because you know me, I'm not one to moan, but it is rather warm today. So we've done 71,000 miles. We've got cruise control. That button there does the display. 24 miles per gallon. I suppose that's the only downside with a car like this. You've got quite a big engine. 30 degrees, look at that. 30. Yeah, you've got quite a big engine and an auto box, so it won't be the most efficient. We've got a little USB-C charging point there and a USB point. Some more storage there for your crisps. And we've got Bluetooth as well. It's a cool little car, this. Very impressed. It's Japanese, I don't even need to try the windows, do I? We've got parking sensors there. Now the fact there's a button, maybe there's front sensors as well. 2 cup holders. A little bit of loose trim there, but might even be the heat, you know. 2 cup holders, a little bit of wear on the handbrake there. Have we got? Oh, I've got electric passenger seat as well. It's unusual. Very nice. Very nice. And my air conditioning is nice and cold. Should we take this for a drive then and see what a Kizashi drive's like? Right, well, we're in the Kizashi. It's my first time driving one of these. First time being in one, first time seeing one. Seeing one with any knowledge anyway. Well, the engine is virtually silent. Quite solid over the bumps. So far so good. I think the auto box is a CVT. I think. Steering feels nice, it's not overly assisted, it's not too heavy. I think it needs a little bit of air in that tyre over there because it's pulling slightly to the left. Yes. Yes, nearly hit that Nissan L Grand parked up. Now we've got an auto dimming rear view mirror. It's quite an interesting car, this. I like the fact that it's such a big spec. I think the fact you don't see many of these on the road just illustrates the fact that we really are badge snobs in this country. This is all the car anyone would ever need. And yet how many did Suzuki UK sell? About a dozen, I think. Got steering wheel controls. The seat's nice and comfortable. I suspect one of my colleagues had this cleaned for me because I've noticed one of my air fresheners in here. And it is quite clean for a car that's come up from down south on the back of a truck. This would be a really decent, solid car for somebody. I think what I'm going to do doesn't need an MOT because it was only done we're in June already, aren't we? Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud there. I think what I'll do is run it down to my mechanic for a service, MOT. I'll probably get the gearbox serviced. It's done 71,000 miles and I don't know whether it's ever been done. So I'll get that done. That's about it really. I'll probably get the bumper blown in as well. So I think this already owes me £4,900 with a retail of 8. So I've got a £3,000 start in it. If I can keep my spend to about 500 quid, that should be doable because the tyres are all good, the brakes looked okay. If I can keep my spend to 500, there should be £2.5 grand profit here. Should be. Right, let me crack on with the work then, and I'll meet up with you in... Quite tight there. Yeah, leave it with me and I'll meet up with you in, give me a fortnight, give me 2 weeks, and I'll have this spun round, hopefully with some profit in it. See you then. And we're back in the old Kizashi, and I've got good news. Not only is this now sold, but it didn't need an awful lot of work. After we last spoke, I took it down to my mechanic for a service and a general check over, and it all checked out fine. There were no faults with it. In fact, they even commented on how well it had been looked after, which in my line of work is quite unusual. I picked it up from there and took it over to my auto gearbox specialist for a gearbox service. There was no fault with it, but it'd done 70,000 miles, so I figured I may as well get it done and just prolong its life. As I always say, prevention's better than the cure. And in the case of a simple gearbox service, why would you not do it? So many people don't bother. I get lots of comments from people asking me the same question because I always preach that you should service your auto gearbox. And they always say something like, well, I tried to contact the main dealer and they wouldn't do it, they said it was sealed for life. Let me tell you now, that is absolute nonsense. When they say that, all it means is it's sealed for the life of the warranty. After the warranty runs out, they couldn't care less if it breaks, so you must get it done. Anyway, the next day I picked it up from the auto gearbox place, and again there were no faults with it, just a simple oil and filter change, or fluid and filter change. And at that point the next job was to take it to the body shop and get that offside rear bumper corner painted. If you look close, it isn't a great repair. It looks as though someone's done it in the dark with an aerosol tin. So I figured I'd get half the bumper repainted, and then while it was down there I'd ask them to give it a good buff. All over the car there were a few minor scratches and marks, and I'm sure they'd buff out. But before I could do that, I was on the phone to my brother and he was in the market for a car. He was fed up with his old car, he just wanted something a bit more luxurious. Now he was looking at Mercedes C-Classes, Jaguar XFs, but they were all diesel and I advised against it. The thing with diesels are they're fine if you do the mileage, but he doesn't do the mileage, and I knew that he'd be facing DPF issues, EGR issues, turbo issues, all that sort of stuff. Instead, I recommended a petrol. In fact, I recommended a Suzuki Kizashi. Obviously, he'd never heard of one before, like most people. So I picked him up in it, showed him all the features that it's got, and he drove it and really liked it. It's funny how it works sometimes, isn't it? Because this is everything he was looking for from a new used car, and yet he'd never heard of one. Most people haven't, I suppose. Had I not mentioned this to him, I can categorically say he'd have never considered one. And yet here's a car that does everything he wanted. Petrol, automatic, he's got the added bonus of being all-wheel drive, heated leather seats, air conditioning, Bluetooth, all that sort of stuff. And also there's the bonus of driving something a bit unusual, something that no one else has got. Now in terms of costs, I spent £150 on the gearbox service and only £80 on the engine service, so he doesn't owe me an awful lot of money. And because it's my brother and we're very close, I sold it to him for money back. Obviously I didn't make any money on it, but I didn't lose any either. And I know now my brother's got a safe, fairly sensible, reliable car that should last him. To be honest though, what I've suggested that he does is keep this for 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, something like that. Keep it in good order, keep the mileage perhaps below 80, and then in the meantime try and save up some extra money, and then by the time he sells this, he should be able to sell this for a profit. I'm convinced this is a £7,000 car, so even by the time he's painted the rear bumper and given it a buff, he should still be in profit. And if you can be bothered to do that, I know it's not for everybody, but if you can keep chopping and changing your car every 6 months or 12 months, you don't lose an awful lot of money. If you can buy them at the right price, keep them nice and then sell them on before they depreciate too heavily, then it just means you can move up the car ladder a bit more quickly. That's what I always did, but it isn't for everybody, I understand that. So I think that's about it. Well, thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll leave the link below. And yeah, cheers guys. See you next time.